Hello and welcome to day 3 of our Yoganuary series, and today we're going to do a grounding flow. So you might often have heard the word or the term grounding mentioned a lot in a yoga practice, and maybe you're very familiar with that, maybe actually you're not too sure what it's all about. So grounding basically is the concept where we bring ourselves back down. So often we are so caught up in our thoughts, in our head, everything kind of starts to spin. We feel a little bit overwhelmed, and it can happen any time, any day. It just starts to escalate. Before you know it, we're feeling a little bit and tapping in and recognizing that you're feeling that way is the first step. It's all about noticing. And then when you notice you are feeling that way, it's about finding ways in which you can come to slow down, to ground. So literally meaning coming down to the ground, getting closer to the earth, feeling centered. So often we get this kind of unbalanced, and it's the energy flow and it's going the wrong way. It's going up to the head. And we want to just say, no, taking that energy back down, and come to feel centered, grounded, back in control. So we have a 20-minute flow here of some poses you can do, the whole sequence, or maybe you just take one, depending on what time you've got in your day, to really help you anchor back down into the earth, into yourself. So very simply, we're going to start in Sukhasana, cross-leg pose, and just begin to feel the earth beneath your seat. So we're going to start with the hands, palms facing down onto the knees. So often this is a real grounding sign. Lift your shoulders to your ears and then roll them back down and away. So the thought here is always rooting down. And then just a slight tuck of the chin in towards the chest. And then a closing of the eyes. Now here, as we sit in our easy pose, our Sukhasana, we're going to just start to really bring our focus to the mat, to the yoga mat beneath us, or maybe the blanket, maybe the rug, wherever you are. And I want you to see if you can really feel the texture of that mat or blanket. And feel that blanket or mat underneath you. Feel it rising up to meet you as you sit down on it. So there's a real weightedness to your seat here. And at the same time, there's this kind of meeting. There's this feeling of being held underneath you. So you just allow yourself here to let go, to release any tension. Maybe you're squeezing the thighs and the knees are levitating up. Just use that space of your hands on the knees just to gently guide them down. And with every exhale, just allowing yourself to sink a little deeper, like you're going through the mat. And as you stay here for a few more rounds of breath, we're going to gently start to extend that exhale. So often the focus of every breath is that drawing in the inhale, but here we're going to slowly, round by round, find the exhale to be the focus. And there's a kind of mirroring of, as you exhale, you also begin to sit a little deeper. You start to feel a bit more anchored. Just starting to gradually allow that spinning energy to come down into the body. And come to meet the earth beneath you. It's really nice in a grounding practice like this to use a mantra or an affirmation. Something really simple. You can say to yourself, I am grounded. I am in control. I am centered. I am safe. I am protected. Whichever kind of works for you. And just say it to yourself a few times here. Wonderful. And slowly you're going to drop the head all the way down to the chest, and then slide the hands off the knees and onto the floor in front of you, and just come to find a seated forward fold here. Keeping those eyes closed, making sure the head is heavy. And maybe your hands are now in contact with the earth, maybe the forearms. Just tune into the sensations under your fingertips, the temperature of the floor, the texture. It's really linking in with that feeling of that solid, supportive ground. Knowing that we are on this very precious earth. Let's take a little moment here just to really feel into it. Yes, I know it's not the earth, it's the floor built on the earth, but we're down, we're near the earth's crust. And so many of us here on this planet, and we're all just walking on the earth's crust. We're all just here as one, living and breathing and doing our best each day. Just notice if you can allow that head to drop a little centimeter further. If you were just holding that little bit, just let go. And we take this practice really slow. We're going to do the opposite of what happens in our day-to-day life. We start to speed up and everything gets a little bit out of control. We just really do the count opposite here and just slow down. There's no place to be. There's nothing you need to do. You've given yourself this 20 minutes. this is what we're doing for 20 minutes. You're going to feel so much better afterwards. Keeping the eyes closed, you're going to roll back through the spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, until you find your seated position, and then here with a little roll of the head, you're then going to blink the eyes open. What a joy. So we're going to come over onto our hands and knees, and we're going to find a child's pose, a wide leg child's pose. So the knees are going to be nice and wide. Your toes come to touch. By all means, cushion underneath you here. And I would suggest you take a block, and the block can just come down. Even if the forehead can reach the earth, we're going to take the block just to have that little bit of added support, like the ground is coming up to meet you. It's almost that really nice feeling of being held. The block just kind of adds that little prop, that support, that scaffolding. And it makes you really kind of draw your attention to that area between the eyes, the third eye, the area of intuition. So with the third eye really pressing onto the block here, we find ourselves really able to tune in and to follow our own judgment. We want to have so much acceptance and from others. We want to know that we're on the right path or we're doing the right thing, and we often ask for advice. But most of the time the answer is within us. You just have to slow down enough for it to surface. So if you have a question or something that you're really wanting the answer to, you're kind of seeking, just take a minute here whilst we're in this pose for a minute. Ask yourself that question and see if any answers arise. No, I'm still here with you. So another 30 or so seconds. Wonderful. And slowly from here, I'm going to just walk the elbows into the body, removing that block, and then coming all the way up to find all fours. Just tuck the toes under to draw the knees back in, spread your fingers wide. We'll just have a little stretch in a cat-cow here. Finding that breath once again, inhaling up and exhaling to round. Good, and maybe a little circle out of those hips. And change direction. Good, and then come to find center. Nice, so from here we're going to find a melted heart pose, a puppy pose. So you're going to keep your knees and your hips stacked. We're going to just come to slide the arms forwards and then begin to extend to lower the chest down towards the mat. Now the arms can go long, the chin can be down on the mat, or maybe the forehead. Maybe you bring your hands higher up onto blocks to get an even deeper stretch here. Whatever works for you. Know that we're going to be here for a couple of minutes, just softly allowing the body to open. And gently, with every exhale, the chest just starts to soften and lower down to the earth. Close the eyes and just really tune in and visualize that melting heart. It's the wonderful name of this pose, just allowing the heart to come down towards the ground. Maybe if there's any relationship or love, problems or celebrations, great things happening in your life, it's a nice point of focus here for this pose. Thinking of your loved ones. A little smile as you see them in your mind's eye. Nice, one more breath. And taking this slow, come to gently walk the hands in, coming back to your all fours position. And then starting to walk the knees back, so you come onto your stomach. This time coming into a Sphinx pose. So the forearms are going to be down onto the mat, and we're going to peel up through the chest. So we're going to really push into the hands, open the chest and look forwards. And this time, a real sensation of pushing your hips into the mat. Find a really nice opening across the chest, a little gentle back bend. As you breathe deeply in, the belly pushes into the mat. And you can feel the release as you exhale out. Wonderful. One more breath. Good. Now coming into our last pose, we're going to roll over onto our back. And we're going to bring the soles of the feet together, and the knees are going to go out wide as we gently start to walk our way back. Coming to lay down, resting the head down onto the mat, and just bringing the hands to the belly first of all. Now I want you to close your eyes and just spend your first moment here just feeling your feet pressing against each other. So the soles of your feet, what we walk on this earth with, is pushing them, maybe just the outside edge, the bottom edges together, the tops apart, that's all good. But just feel that nice little line of contact. And then come to feel your hands resting on the belly. And the gentle rise and fall with the breath. And maybe there's a warmth there of the hands layering on top of each other, on top of the stomach, the belly. Good, and after your next breath, you're going to extend one leg and extend the other. Take one hand away, palm face down onto the earth, and then the other. And here, really scan from top to bottom all the areas where your body meets the earth, where you can feel that ground beneath you. Where you feel held and supported. In that place of ease and comfort. Where we couldn't be any closer to the earth. And here, take these last few closing moments to come back to your mantra, your affirmation, I am grounded, I am centered, I am in control, I am safe, I am protected. Or anything that resonates with you. Now, if you feel you're happy to stay here for a little while longer, by all means do. It's your time. This is not a wasted exercise. This is a powerful exercise. When you know the ways in which you're able to ground, to take time away, to relax the body and mind. This is as much a part of health as lifting weights or running or anything else. Doesn't take long, but we want to keep it up. Find time in which to do this practice weekly, if not daily. only going to bring you benefits and joy and happiness to your life. In your own time, when you're ready, you can stretch it out, wiggle the fingers, lift the arms, maybe a little yawn. And then come to roll over onto one side and up to find your seat. I hope that felt good. I hope you managed to drop into that place of real relaxation, because that is how we restore, that's how we replenish. Those busy firing neurons can just have a little time to bathe, to cool, to soothe. So thank you so much for being here. And tomorrow we have a completely different flow. We're going to do a fast, fiery, core strengthening flow. So I hope you can join me for that one. Have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, whatever you're up to. And I'll see you very soon. Namaste.